Good afternoon, everybody.
Yeah.
First, I thank the management of and Mr. Pragaris, who is long time he is associated with me. I know very well him. இப்போ நம்ம ஃபர்ஸ்ட் நம்ம கம்பெனி இன்கார்பரேஷன்ஸ் அப்புறம் என்ன என்டிட்டிஸ் டைப் ஆஃப் என்டிட்டிஸ் என்னென்ன இருக்கு, என்னென்ன கம்பெனிஸ் ரெஜிஸ்ட்ரேஷன் எங்கெங்க பண்ணணும் அப்படிங்கிற டீட்டெயில்ஸை மட்டும்தான் இப்போ நம்ம பார்க்க போறோம். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் நமக்கு வந்து என்டிட்டி அப்படிங்கிறத முதல்ல நமக்கு தேவைப்படும். என்டிட்டி அப்படிங்கிறது என்ன அப்படின்னா, ஒரு கம்பெனியை ஆரம்பிக்கிறதுக்கு முன்னாடி நம்ம வந்து அது ப்ராஃபிட்டபிள் மோட்டிவ்ல பண்றோமா நான் ப்ராஃபிட்டபிள் மோட்டிவ்ல பண்றோமா அப்படிங்கிறத ஃபர்ஸ்ட் நம்ம டிசைட் பண்றோம். ஏன்னா ரெண்டு டைப் ஆஃப் என்டிட்டிஸ் இருக்குது, ஒன்று ப்ராஃபிட்டபிள், அந்த ஒன்று இது நான் ப்ராஃபிட்டபிள். ப்ராஃபிட்டபிள் மோட்டிவ்ல நம்ம பண்றது எல்லாமே பார்த்தோம் அப்படின்னோம்னா ப்ரொப்ரைட்டர்ஷிப் பண்ணுவோம், எல்எல்பி பண்ணுவோம், பார்ட்னர்ஷிப் ஃபார்ம் பண்ணுவோம், கம்பெனிஸ் பண்ணுவோம். இந்த மாதிரி செக்ஷன் 8 இந்த மாதிரி பண்றது எல்லாமே நம்ம ப்ராஃபிட் மோட்டிவ்ல வரும். நான் ப்ராஃபிட் மோட்டிவ்ல என்னென்ன வரும் அப்படின்னா செக்ஷன் 8 கம்பெனி அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி பண்ணுவோம். நிறைய பேர் இப்போதைக்கு எமர்ஜிங்கா இருக்கிறது பாத்தீங்க அப்படின்னீங்கன்னா எல்லாருமே சொல்றது செக்ஷன் 8 கம்பெனி அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு இருக்காங்க. செக்ஷன் 8 கம்பெனி அப்படின்னு பார்த்தோம்னா அது நான் ப்ராஃபிட் மோட்டிவ் கம்பெனி. அது இல்லாம சொசைட்டிஸ், ட்ரஸ்ட், இந்த மாதிரி இதெல்லாம் நிறைய இருக்குது. இந்த மாதிரி கம்பெனிஸ் எல்லாம் நம்ம எங்கெங்க ரெஜிஸ்டர் பண்ணணும், வேற என்னென்ன கம்ப்ளைன்சஸ் நம்ம பண்ண போறோம் அப்படிங்கறதான் நம்ம சொல்ல போறேன். இதுல கம்ப்ளைன்சஸ் ரெகுலேஷன்ஸ் நம்ம ஃபுல்லா இன்டெப்தா நம்ம போறதுக்கு முன்னாடி என்னென்ன ரெஜிஸ்ட்ரேஷன்ஸ் நமக்கு தேவைப்படும் அப்படிங்கறத நமக்கு முக்கியம். அது எந்தெந்த கவர்மெண்ட்டுக்கு கீழே வருது, ஸ்டேட் கவர்மெண்ட்டுக்கு கீழே வருதா இல்ல சென்ட்ரல் கவர்மெண்ட்டுக்கு கீழே வருதா அப்படிங்கிறதையும் நம்ம ஒரு தடவை செக் பண்ணிட்டு நம்ம அடுத்தடுத்து நம்ம பண்றது பண்ணலாம். ஓகேவா?
சாரி சார், சரவணன் சார், ஐ திங்க் சம் பீப்புள் ஆர் ஃப்ரம் ஏபி, ஆந்திரால இருந்து இருக்காங்க. ஸோ கொஞ்சம் கம்யூனிகேஷன் இங்கிலீஷ்ல கேட்கறாங்க. ஸோ நீங்க பைலிங்குவல் அப்படியே பேசிக்கிறீங்க
சார். என்ன சார்?
சார் பைலிங்குவல்ல கொஞ்சம் இங்கிலீஷ் கம்யூனிகேஷன் கேட்கறாங்க. ஏபில இருந்து அட்டன் பண்றாங்க, ஆந்திர பிரதேஷ்ல இருந்து. கொஞ்சம் நீங்க அதை பார்த்து. ஓகே
ஓகே. சார் எங்க விண்டோஸ் தெரியுதா சார் உங்களுக்கு? Sir, first we have to see the various type of entities. What all are the entities available for doing the business or doing the non-profitable motive business? First one is you can see the proprietor. Second one is the partnership firm. Third one is Hindu undivided family. Everyone has well known about this. And association of persons and trust, society, cooperative society, one-person company, limited liability partnership, and private limited company, public limited company, section 8 company, producer company, nidhi company, non-banking financial company. Like this, so many type of companies are available for doing businesses. Based on your object and based on your capacity, you can select which company you want going to incorporate it. First one is proprietor, means proprietor is a single person. You can incorporate proprietorship. There is much registration is not required except GST registration. And if it is a food processing unit, you can register as a FSSAI. Apart from that, there is nothing required. Even once you need to file the income tax returns, only you need to file. The second one is partnership form. Partnership form based on there is the agreement between two individuals. It's a contract basis. It may be a will or not a will. We can continue a partnership firm for 5 years or 10 years, like that. We can fix the expiry date. Otherwise, you can run the business as much as you want. That is, it's called as a at will. And the third one is you can see Hindu undivided family or association of persons. It is the firmly concerned. Father, senior person of the person HUF is called as the Karta, and the member of the family is the members of the HUF family. You can do any business in that HUF. The third one is the trust and society. So the fourth and fifth one is the trust and society. You can aware of the trust and societies are the non-profit motive companies, non-profit motive entities. The trust and societies are registered under the trust is registered in the Trust Act and the society is registered in the Societies Act. Normal based on the registration, normally it is registered under the registered office of the jurisdiction of the place of the registered office is having. And another one is the cooperative society. This one is everyone is aware about the cooperative society. Cooperative society based on they are lending money and accepting deposits from the public. It is governed by the state government. And first one, and the proprietor partnership and society, cooperative society are governed by the state act. Apart from that, so many entities is there. These are the other following entities are controlled by the central government. For proprietor, you need not have any separate registration. Partnership firm, registration is not mandatory. HUF registration is not mandatory. But trust society, cooperative society is registration is mandatory. These all are governed by the state government. Apart from that, one-person company, limited liability, private company, public company, section 8 company, producer company, Nidhi company, these NBFC companies are governed by the central government act. It comes under the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. You must register with the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Without registration, you cannot do the business. The first one is one-person company. How the proprietorship is in the state government, based on that central government having the same parameter of the company, that is called the one-person company. One-person company is there is only one member. You can, at the time of registration, you have to file the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. You need to file your memorandum and articles. These all are the legal documents you need to proceed with the registration. Second one is limited liability partnership. Limited liability partnership is it is parallel to the partnership firm already registered already in the state government. The limited liability partnership, what is the difference between partnership and limited liability partnership is, in partnership firm there is the liability is unlimited. There is any unforeseen happens in the company, in the partnership firm, your personal liability also will come into action. But if it is a limited liability partnership, there is no what is your what is the amount you have invested in the LLP, that is the your liability. Apart from that, they will not come to your personal properties. The third one is private limited company. Private limited company means there is that is the emerging companies. Everyone is saying now it's a corporate companies they are saying nowadays. One of the corporate companies is the private limited company. This private limited company, minimum number of shareholders is required to, and minimum number of directors is required to. The company is managed by the directors of the company. Each and every transaction, each and every decision taken in the board of the directors of the company. And the company is run, and the owner of the company is the shareholders of the company. Maybe sometimes both are the same. Sometimes it may be different from board and the shareholders of the company. And the fourth one is public limited company. The public limited company is same as much as the private limited company, but there is the difference is, in private company you cannot transfer the shares to outsiders without the consent of the board. In public company, you can sell the shares to outsiders. After that, you can intimate to the board. That is the difference between the private company and the public company. The next one is Section 8 company. Section 8 company is non-profit motive company. It is like a society under trust, registered under the state act. In Section 8 companies are registered under the central act, which comes under the Companies Act itself. The fourth one is producer company. Producer company is it's like a cooperative society. Only farmers are the members of the company. And the next one is Nidhi company. Nidhi company is already I defined in the cooperative society. The same is applicable for the Nidhi company. Members can accept deposits the board can accept, the company can accept the deposits from the public, from the members, and the lending loan to the members only. The next one is the NBFC companies. NBFC companies, everyone knows about this. For example, Bajaj Finance companies are the that is the NBFC companies. Fullerton India. These are the NBFC companies. They can issue the loan to the individuals, agriculture loan, machinery loan, term loan. These loans are issued by the NBFCs. The next one is the salient features of the private company. Nowadays, private companies are emerging one. That's only they are concentrated in the corporate structures. In corporate structures, you can get the investment from others, and you can fix the price of the shares based on your future expansion or future value of the shares. That's only everyone is interested to incorporate a company as a private limited company. And what is this? There is some features, some unique characteristics of the private company. This is a separate legal entity. If there is any separate legal entity, means there is a difference between the shareholders and the board. It is a separate legal entity, so it has its it is an artificial person. It has its own assets and liability. It can buy a immovable property in its own name. That's only it's called as a separate legal entity. The second one is perpetual succession. Perpetual succession means if partnership form, there is a two partners, and the two partners is died due to some accident, some unhappen, something, they are died. You need to close the partnership form, and if you want to continue the partnership form, you need to incorporate a new partnership form and continue with the same name. But it is if it is a private limited company, you need not to close the company. You can continue with their legal heirs, or whether if they are saying any nominees, based on the nominees, you can continue the private limited company without closing the entities. That is the unique features. And the third one is transparent and legal compliances. Transparent means what all are the happenings in if the company is if you appoint a directors in the company, if you change the registered office, if you increase the capital, if you increase the paid up capital or authorized capital, everything you need to inform to the register of companies. Based on the register of companies, if you want to invest in the private company or public limited company, you can get the details from the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. That is the register of companies is there. You can get the details from the register of companies, and you at the time of investment you can find if there is any non-compliances is there, anything you can find it. That is the transparent is available. What are the event based forms and annual based forms we need to file it to the private limited company. That transparent is available. And the fourth one is transfer of shares. And already I explained at the time of explaining the various types of entities. Transfer of shares is you cannot transfer the shares without the consent of the board. If it is a public company, you can transfer the shares to the others. But it is a private limited company, you cannot transfer the shares without the consent of the board. It means first, if you want to transfer the shares, you need to inform to the board. If the board has given consent, then only you can transfer the shares. Otherwise, you cannot transfer your shares. That privileges is available to the private limited company. And the next one is limited liability. That is the unique features of the private limited company. That is the limited liability. Apart from your capital or apart from your guarantee given to the company, you cannot spend any money to the company at the time of liquidation or winding up. The company is unable to, there are the various situations that the company is unable to pay its debts and the company is unable to run the business. You need to close the company. At the time of closing, there is the mismatch of assets and liability. If the asset is less and liability is more, what is available in hand, that amount only transferred to the government, or what secured creditors, that only, that the proportionate basis only you need to pay. Apart from that, you need not to get the company, sorry, you need not to worry about your personal properties. And private, the company based on the incorporation, there is a n number of companies is available. There is the n types of companies are available. For based on the incorporation, company is differentiated at two type of companies. First one is statutory companies. Second one is registered company. Statutory company means based on the law passed in the parliament. That is State Bank of India, LIC, ONGC. These companies are incorporated under the Act of Parliament. These companies are called as the statutory companies. Second one is registered companies. Registered companies means this, already I told, private company, public company, Section 8 companies. These companies are, we have to register with the MCA. Based on that, it is called as the registered company. The second type of company is based on the liability. Based on the liability, we can split the company into three portions. First one is limited liability. Second one is unlimited liability. Third one is guarantee. If it is a limited liability means I already informed. If it is a unlimited liability means there is no limited liability. That is the opposite of the limited liability. Unlimited liability, there is it's like a partnership form. If there is any non-payment or unable to pay its debt, personal property will also go to the secured creditors. The third one is guarantee. Guarantee means at the time of incorporation of the company, you need not spend any money. You need not to give any money to the company as a capital contribution. At the time of closures of the company, you have fixed the guarantee of one person. That is the 25,000 or 50,000 or 75,000, like that. A guarantee you can fix. At the time of closure of the company only, the shareholders has to pay the amount to the company. Otherwise, the guarantee will continue as such. The next one is based on the control. It is divided into holding company and subsidiary company. Holding company means a company having the shares of another companies. It's called a holding company. Subsidiary company means a company is invested in some other company. It's called a subsidiary company. And based on that transfer of shares, I already informed. It's divided into a private limited company, public limited company. Transfer of shares, I already informed to you. And apart from that, it's based on the incorporation, it is divided into domestic company and foreign company. Foreign company can also incorporate a company in India, and foreign company can also incorporate a subsidiary company in India. And these based on that share capital, we divided into foreign company or subsidiary of foreign company. That category is available to us. The another one is what all are the legal documents required for incorporations of the above entity. The first one is, you can see, proprietor. I already informed you, there is no documents is required. There is, if you want, you can register MSME. If you want, if you registered as GST. Otherwise, partnership firm, nothing is required. The second one is proprietors, nothing is required. Second one is partnership. Partnership, already I informed, it's a it may be a registered partnership or may not be a registered partnership. Partnership means there is a contract between two individuals. It may be at will or not at will. In partnership deed containing various clauses is there. First, what are the partnership deed containing the what all are the objects of the company, what all are the shareholder, what all are the partners in the partnership form, and what is the capital contribution of the partner, profit sharing, how to expel the partner, how to inclusion of a partner. These details are available in the partnership deed. The same The same type of deed is applicable to the limited liability partnership also. In limited liability partnership, we can mention as the liability of the partners is limited. So this is the difference between the partnership deed and the limited liability partnership. The next one is trust and society. Trust and societies, we need for incorporating a trust, we need a trust deed. Trust deed is registered in the registered office. Minimum 3% is required for incorporation of the trust, and stamp duties also is applicable based on your contribution or investment in the trust. And society, the next one is society. Society, you need to have a bylaws and MOA. MOA having object of the company and object of the society and the registered office of the society, and what all are the who all are the members of the society and their designation is mentioned, and bylaws having the activities, what all are the fees having to charge to the members of the company, how to bring the members in the company, how to expel, how to incorporate the board, the board committee members, how to incorporate the committee members, these things on the qualifications of the committee members, the details are available in the bylaws in the society. The next one is the private limited company. The private limited company, public company, and the Section 8 company, producer company, these NBFC, these companies all must have the memorandum and articles. These all are the legal documents to form a company. Memorandum containing name of the company and object of the company, what is the liability of the company, who all are the shareholders of the company, these details, and in which jurisdictions in which jurisdiction the office of the company is situated. These details are available in the memorandum of the company. Articles containing who all are the board of directors and their qualifications, how to incorporate a capital, how to increase the paid up capital, how to increase the authorized capital, and the authorized capital and the indemnity of the situation, how to alter the memorandum, how to alter the articles. These details are available in the articles of association of the company. It is the bylaws of the company. Based on the rules and regulations contained in the memorandum and articles, the company can run the business. If you go to beyond that memorandum and articles, it may be a violation under the Companies Act. We can amend the memorandum and articles whenever you need. You can change it and amend it based on the approval of the shareholders. In society and trust, having a trustee and members, society having a board members, and company having a board of directors. Board of directors, for incorporating a private limited company, minimum 2 directors is required, minimum 2 shareholders is required. For incorporating a public company, minimum 3 directors is required, minimum 7 shareholders is required. These are the basic things we need to know. And what is the difference between the partner? Why you want to incorporate a company or partnership? What is the difference between the partnership firm and a private limited company? Partnership firm means its creations by a agreement, and company means its creations by a law. Creation by agreement means you need not to. It is the agreement between already informed. It is the agreement between the partners of the company. In the partner, the agreement may be registered and it may not be registered. If it is a company, you must register with the Register of Companies, comes under the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. It's surrounded by the Companies Act. The second one is I already informed the registration. Registration is partnership. It is not mandatory, but in case of private limited company, registration is mandatory. The third one is liability. I already informed partnership firm have unlimited liability, but a private limited company, based on your liability clause mentioned in that, the liability clause is applicable to you. The fourth one is separate legal entity. In private limited company, so many acts it is treated as a separate legal entity, but partners, some authorities some authorities are not applicable for the partnership form. And we need to get where the partnership, where the entity is going to register. What all are the legislations or regulations are applicable to the partnership firm or companies. The first one is partnership. The partnership has to register under the Indian Partnership Act. The second one is companies are registered under the Companies Act. And what are the some other registrations? Where do you register? These details are available there. First one is your turnover of the company is crosses 40 lakhs. You need to register. You must register in the GST Act. Before that, whether there is the option is available to you, whether it is registered or unregistered. If it is crosses 40 lakhs, you must register. If it is less than, your turnover is less than 40 lakhs, you may register or may not register. If you register, it is treated as a voluntary registration. If you cross the 40 lakhs rupees, it is treated as a mandatory registration. The next one is MSME registration. In 4 to 15 years before it is treated, it is named as a small scale industry SSI. After that, it is transferred to MSME. Now it is the registration is named as a Udayam registrations. MSME means micro, small, and medium enterprises. I will explain the next slide in detail. The next one is where you registered patent, trademark, copyrights. These details are available. If you want to register your logo and your catchy words, you can register in the trademark. These three are called as the IPR, or intellectual property rights. This patent means you already know. I think you already know about the patent. Patent means if there is any new findings, new type of machineries, you will find new formulas. These are the treated as the patent. Logo, sounds, and colors. These details are registered under the trademark. Copyright means the songs, music. These things are registered under the Copyright Act. The next one is IE code. IE code comes under the Ministry of Commerce and the Industry. If your entity is having export or import, export to another country and import from some other countries, you need to get the IE code, that is import and export code. If you have a import and export code only, you can import or export your goods or services. Otherwise, you cannot do it. The next one is ISO, ISI, FSSAI. These things are available based on your entity, based on your manufacturing. Once you come under the manufacturer or dealing in goods, dealing in food products, based on that, you can decide whether it is registered under the ISO, ISI, or FSSAI. The next one is the already informed MSME registration. Now it is called as the Udayam registration. Recently, the government came out with some definition classes, modification in the definition classes. Now it's revised based on the revised MSME classification. It is entities are classified into three classes. One is micro, second one is small, and third one is medium classes. If before that, there is two separate classes. There manufacturing enterprises and service enterprises. Now, based on the classification, it is treated as into two classes. First one is based on the classification. Now it is treated as one. Manufacturing services are comes under the same category. Micro, it is divided into three classes: micro, small, and medium. If the investment is less than 1 crore and the turnover is less than 5 crore, it is treated as micro. If the investment is less than 10 crore and the turnover is less than 50 crores, it is treated as small. If the investment is less than 20 crore and the turnover is less than 100 crore, it is treated as a medium medium industries. Now we can anyone can ask why we need to register our entity in the MSME. If you registered your entities in MSME, there is so many advantages is available. The first one is you can find if you go to the there is so many banks are is there, MSME banks are available. We go to approach the bank, they can get they will provide a loan without security or minimum security. They will provide the loan to you with the lesser interest what is available in the normal banking sectors. That is the first advantage. We can get the loan from bank without security or limited security, and you can get the loan with very less interest rate compared with the other bank. Then the next one is there is the option is there. Every government purchase must procure their products 20% or 30% from MSME sectors only. So if you registered your industry in a MSME sectors, some government can get the products from you. They must get the products from you. There is a website is also is available, GEM, Government E-Marketplace. There is you need to register the MSME, then you register your product in the GEM portal. You can get the tender from the, you can apply, you are eligible to apply for the government tenders. You can get the tenders from government also. The next one is trademark. That if you are not registered, your entity is in a MSME sector, the filing fees is very high. If you registered under the MSME, the filing fee is 50% of the what is the normal fees available to the outsiders. The next one is tax rebate. In income tax or some GST Act, not only sorry, not GST. In the income tax, you can get the tax rebate once you registered under MSME and your turnover is having 90% or 95% is only online, or that POS, through POS you can get the tax rebate from the government. And also you can get the assurance from the vendors. You can get your payment within 45 days. Otherwise, you can charge your bill with the 18% interest rate with, from 46th day. The next one is woman entrepreneur. For woman entrepreneur, there is so many schemes are available to the bank. First one is Mudra Yojana scheme. There is an if your entity having a woman entrepreneur, you need not give any guarantee and you can get the loan up to 10 lakhs rupees. The next one is TRED. It is financial institutions can give up to 70% of the loan to you. Balance 30% only you can give, and you can repay your loan up to 10 years. The next one is Mahila Udayam Nidhi scheme. It is provided by the SIDBI. The loan is available for a new loan, or if you want to expand your business, you can get it for expansion also. You can get it from SIDBI. The loan amount is up to 10 lakhs and you can repay it up to 10 years. The next one is the Annapurna scheme. It is available only for catering units who is running the food business. The loan is available up to 50,000 rupees. The next one is Tree Shakti package for women entrepreneurs. The only condition is the women entrepreneurs having more than 50% in your entity. if you, banks are providing loan with a concession rate of 0.05%. Concession rate is available. The next one is Bharatiya Mahila Business Bank loan. The loan is now the Bharatiya Mahila Business Bank is merged with the State Bank of India. You can get the loan up to 1 crore rupees, and the next one is Udayogini scheme. It is available for only for age between 18 to 45 years. It is involved in the agriculture, retail, and similar small business. Can avail loans up to 1 lakh rupees under this scheme. For widow and dispute and disabled women from SC ST categories, a subsidy of 30% of the loan up to the 10,000 is provided by the Udayogini. The next one is Sen Kalyani scheme. The woman business owners in multiple areas such as agriculture, work, or retail trading, loan up to 1 crore provided by the. It is and the scheme is available only in the Central Bank of India. Only this type of loan has provided. And what all are the documents required for registrations of the company and partnership form? If it is a partnership form, you go to the partnership. There is the website is available, tnregnet.in. In the website, you can everyone can go and log in their own credentials. There is the form is called Form A. You can register your details. You can input your details in the website and take a printout and go to the register office. You can register it. It is a simple process. If it is required for registered partnership, otherwise you need not to register. You can continue as the unregistered partnership. If you incorporate a private limited company, you need to submit some documents to the register of companies for approving your name. The first one is already I informed, memorandum of association. The second one is articles of association. Third one is the registered office proof. Fourth one is who all are the directors and directors address proof and ID proof. Who all are the shareholders and their address and ID proof and registered office proof, along with the consent letter of the landlord. These details are these filings are available only on the online only available. You can see the website of www.mca.gov.in, Ministry of Corporate Affairs. You go to the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, without help of the professional, you cannot do, because that form has to certify by the professionals. So without having a professional help, so you cannot file the incorporations documents for company, private company, public company, or Section 8 company. These companies are, you cannot file it. If you have any questions in this session, you can ask.
I would request participants to raise the questions. Sir, I think we can raise in chat box. In between that, sir, I'm having a question from my side. You're audible, right? So, for example, normally for a startup, for example, if I'm a startup, so if my business is very, very less than that, like maybe 5,000 or 10,000, so is the GST mandate? So if it is mandate, so how much is the exception limit for GST, for paying GST?
I am unable to get your voice properly.
Sir, if I'm a startup, for example, if I'm running, hello, now it's okay, sir?
Yes, sir, tell me, sir.
It's okay? Hello?
Sir, tell me, sir.
Sir, if I'm a startup, for example, if I'm a micro business, for example, it is lesser than below 25,000 or something like that. So the GST is mandate for all business. If it is mandate, so what about the exemption limit? If it is 10 lakhs or 5 lakhs, 20 lakhs. So whoever have to pay for that one, sir? If எல்லாருமே pay பண்ணணுமா? GST limit ஒன்னு இருக்கும்ல. உங்க சைடுல அத கொஞ்சம் சொன்னா இருக்கும்.
That is the maximum limit is 40 lakhs. I already informed. If the turnover is crosses 40 lakhs, you can mandatory register. If the turnover is less than, that is the optional to register. Sometimes your supplier asking the GST number. That time you must give. So there is the option is available for voluntary registration. So at the time you can register.
Fine enough. Okay. For company register control, so like it's to be a professional. So for a professional, we need to go for a formation either for private limited or LLP like that. For example, if for they, for example, if the startup have to keep one company secretary or one auditor or one chartered accountant. So whoever is mandated, sir. So either யாராவது ஒருத்தர் இருந்தா போதுமா? So அவங்களுக்கு அவங்களோட ரூல் பண்ணி கொண்டு போறேன்.
Either any you need the professional. He may be an advocate, he may be a company secretary, he may be a cost accountant, or he may be a chartered accountant. At the time of incorporation, any one help is required. After incorporation, you need to appoint one statutory auditor for that company. If the company capital is crosses 10 crore, you mandatory appoint one company secretary in your office.
Okay. So apart from that, for getting a registration, like there is division in getting a MSME registration. Before that, now Udayam registration. So how long it takes for getting a certificate? Sir? For example, if I'm a startup, if I'm applying online Udayam registration, so how long it takes to get a certificate? Not like 3 years, right? I think
it is everything is in online only. You need to give some input in the website. First one is you need to give your Aadhaar number. You can get the OTP. Once you get the OTP, you can enter in the website. It gives some basic details: your PAN number, what is your capital, or what is your investment in the company, and whether you are your gender, male or female. These details, basic details you can give, and where is your office location, and your NIC code, that is the national information code is there. These details are you can provide. Based on that, it will give after submitting it will give one OTP. That OTP also you can give it. After verification, you can get the certification in 1 or 2 days.
Okay, sir. So there is a question from participant. What are the benefits for MSMEs in terms of tax prevention?
Another one is up to 31st March 2021, you can get the details without filing of ITR and without filing of GST.
Okay.
And 1/4/2021, after getting GST only, you can register the Udayam. Otherwise, you cannot.
Okay. So for
the MSME, you need not re-register it. But after 1/4/2021, you can every year you can register. That only you after that only you can find out whether you are comes under the small, micro or small or medium enterprises.
Okay, so who are not registered for IT or GST or whatever, so their registration I think could be cancelled, right? Before after. So who are not registered for IT and GST number, I think before after 2021, and the certificate could be cancelled, right, sir, as per the norms. Who are not
yes, sir. After
yeah.
Whoever not registered, you cannot go to the MSME.
Okay. So there is a 2 questions from participants. What are the benefits for MSMEs in terms of tax reduction?
Yes, sir.
So they are asking, what are the benefits for MSME in terms of tax reduction?
Sir, at the time of receiving investment from the other side, you can value your shares. At the time of valuing your shares, then some capital gain tax will come for MSME sectors. If it is a startup and MSME, that tax is not applicable for the first 5 years. Okay. Thus, advantages is available. If it is not registered in MSME or startup, you need to pay capital gain tax. Otherwise, you cannot.
Okay. So, other question, which is better, MSME or MCA for small business?
Sir, can you chart, sir? I unable to hear your voice properly.
Sir, which one is better, MSME or MCA for small business?
Sir, both are different, sir.
Okay.
If you want to, MSME comes under the MCA comes under private limited companies comes under the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. If you want a company in private limited company or partnership, public company or section 8 company, you need to register with the private company under the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Otherwise, if it is a otherwise you can register as a partnership firm or proprietor. You can register in MSME, and also you can register your private company in MSME also.
Also, other question: what are the regulations we follow if I provide a processing-based service to food industries?
Food industry.
Yeah, what are the regulations to be followed if I provide a processing-based service to food industries?
First, you need to, based on that your turnover, there is two type of registration is available. One is comes under state government, another one is comes under the central government. Type A, type B, these details are available. I will explain in details in person.
Yeah,
but
no,
that FSS certificate you can register, and apart from that, if you want, you can register in Agmark also. If it is food products.
Okay, sir. So initially for small business or for startup, so how much it will take for the charges? Like initially, how much it will take for these formations, and then for GST filing, and for annually, how much it will be the charges? Sir? So it will be better for.
You asking number of days or
number of days, and also for the charges for fees.
For corporate partnership, incorporation is the same day you can incorporate. For company, first you need to check the name availability in the website. If the name is available, we can file the name and we can get in 1 or 2 days. After that, we file the incorporation documents to the ministry. It will get another 3 to 4 days, maximum 1 week time, maximum 7 working days.
Okay, so what about the charges, sir? How much for package? It's like a package or something like that?
Sir, if it is a company, if the capital is up to 15 lakhs, the government has given a concession. Without paying any payment, you can incorporate a company. You have to pay the professional charges only.
Okay, I think for yeah. So I think for MSME there is no charges. For MCA, for example, for private limited, how much it will take, sir? For example, they want to register as a private limited company in MCA. What about the auditor charges for registration purpose? They are asking.
Registration, I already told there is no registration charge. You can pay up to nearly 1,500 or 1,600 only. You can pay. Apart from that, you pay the professional charges only. That is absolutely free. Yeah. Almost free. You pay, that is name availability is 1,000 rupees and stamp duty is 500 and PAN and TAN charges. There is no government fees. Apart from this.
For keeping an auditor or chartered accountant or statutory who are technical expertise for a company, so for annually, how much budget they can keep in their budget for a startup company? For example, if they keep you as a technical advisor in terms of auditing and then for filing whatever financial purposes. So tentatively, how much budget it will come? Maybe startup can take as account for the budget. How much exact? Some approximate I'm asking.
Sir, if it is a startup means nearly or 50,000 or 60, based on your project, how you expand, penetrate into the market, based on that the capital is required. If the capital is increased, the fees also will increase.
Okay. So please share your details.
Whether it is a manufacturing unit, you need much amount for purchasing equipment and machinery. Factory building is required. But if it is a service industry, you can work at home also. So no office also is not required.
Okay. For example, if there is a micro, if it is a micro business, so people are not going for a GST registration. There will be any problem for the ministry. So I think some people are not allowed. Yeah.
Absolutely, there is no problem. Whether they cannot take the input that GST, whether we can get the product with the GST and without GST we can sell the product, means it is a loss to the company. If you pass on the GST, you will be benefited. If you not registered, that benefit will not come to you. Automatically your price will increase. You cannot compete your competitors in the market. So it is advisable to go with the registration.
So can you share your details? Maybe people can touch with you directly. There is one chat box you can see on your left corner, sir. So can you please share your details with your name and I think your contact details. Is it easy for you, or I can share it from you?
Sir, I chart or I click it.
Okay, you can just type it in that one.
Sir?
Sir, you can type it in the chat box. Otherwise, no issue. I can type it from my side.
Okay.
Can you tell your number? Then I can type it directly. So just yeah. So I think we come to the conclusion. So I think it's a grateful session with Mr. Saravanan sir. So for having a clarity about the company formation and what are the regulations and what are the benefits we are going to get from the governments in terms of state and central. So how you can go for a GST filing, how can you go for a private limited or either corporation or LLP. I think you can have a direct contact with him if you need proper guidance and you can take your company as into professionalism. I think maybe get some natural in the session. So thank you, Saravanan sir, for having a time for